Hi, I'm Sam Polly, the State Director of Pesticide Safety Education for Missouri. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about pollinator safety. This has become one of the pressing issues in agriculture and horticulture today. And you'll be hearing a lot more about it because of recent changes to the labels. So hopefully I can give you a little bit of new information and inspire you as to why we really need to pump up the game when it comes to protecting pollinators. The first question we need to ask is who cares? You might already have a native flower garden around the fence of your property or have some interest, but I know some of you probably haven't thought too much about pollinating insects. And there are a lot of people who really care, and this is why it's become such an important issue. And I think one of the more important groups is our specialty crop growers. You might grow apples or watermelons and those types of crops, cucumbers. They rely on pollinating insects for a good crop. Also, flower gardeners, just backyard gardeners, were a $2.7 billion industry in 2015. And since then, everybody's saying that gardening has really exploded. So it's probably a lot more now. And then, of course, you have environmental interests like the Xerces Society. They're like an Audubon Society for insects. We want to be making those kind of people our friends rather than our enemies and pushing them away with bad pesticide practices. Of course, you have the nursery industry, your neighbors, and then government agencies like Missouri Department of Conservation and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Department of Ag. We want to work together and build our industry. So what can we do to protect pollinators? We all have different types of equipment and materials we spray, but there are some basic things we can do and groups and websites we can be aware of to do a better job and bump up our game here in Missouri and make a healthier environment. The first thing you need to be aware of is FieldWatch. This is just an absolutely wonderful resource. I encourage you to get on the website, just Google FieldWatch, check it out. You can actually join, and whether you're an applicator or a small farm or a horticultural operation, a beekeeper, it's really open to everybody so that we can get together on there. And say you're a commercial applicator, you come in to do a spray in a certain area, you can check out FieldWatch and see if there are beehives in your area or maybe a specialty crop that's sensitive to what you're spraying. And so it's a good way to collaborate and prevent damaging somebody's crop or somebody's bees. You can get these signs to put around your crop or your beehive as an additional measure too. Now, this is one of the big issues now. This is one of the big changes is the new EPA bee advisory box. You'll be seeing more of these, especially on insecticides, and really don't know what kind of research is coming down the road as far as herbicides or especially in fungicides. There have been a few problems. But this box will warn you on the label as to what you need to do to try to protect bees with this product, where you can and can't spray it, some of the precautions. So be looking for this new bee advisory box on the labels of your pesticides. Group I wanted to bring up is Missourians for Monarchs, another great outfit that really helps us collaborate. And we really need more people from our industry to join these kinds of groups so our voice is heard, so we can see what other citizens are concerned about and try to work together to make a healthier, stronger political and social network in our industry. So check out Missourians for Monarchs. It's not just about monarchs, they really want to protect pollinators as well. And the final resource I wanted to give you is EPA's pollinator protection page. Great website with a lot of good information on how we can protect pollinators. So check out that website. You can just Google that simple search, pollinator protection page, EPA. And the last thing I wanted to share with you was some recommendations. This is the most important part of this presentation. And I'm focusing on insecticides here, but really it's any pesticide, especially fungicides. Could even be herbicides. We want to try to keep the chemicals off of our pollinating insects. So again, focusing on insecticides, choose the least toxic alternative. So if you have your choice between a caution and a warning label, choose the caution label, but don't just stop there. Do a little bit of reading, and if you have to, contact the manufacturer and find out what's the persistence. How long is this chemical going to be in the environment? I used to spray chemicals that were persistent for a year. They could knock down insects. That's not the kind of thing you want on flowering shrubs. The next thing is to look into when your pollinators are present. If you have a lot of bees cruising through your area, for example, you're going to want to spray in the evening when those bees are back in the hive. Also, avoid spraying plants in bloom. This was always a problem as a commercial applicator. We go out to spray trees, find out there's blooming shrubs underneath. We'd have to reschedule. And then make targeted applications instead of big blanket applications. Focus on where your pests are and do everything possible to prevent drift. This is one of the biggest complaints the Department of Ag gets here in Missouri and in a lot of states. And that's an easy one with good application practices. So thanks for joining us today. I hope you learned something or at least got thinking a little more about our pollinating insects. And if you have any questions, check in with your extension agent in your area and have a great season.